Okay, let's give this a go. Mark Bell, eating 5% fat to be 5% fat. I haven't watched this yet. I'm doing this off the cuff. I want to give a genuine reaction just so that it is my honest reaction. So um, it might not be something that is even interesting, but we'll find out, I suppose, won't we? Let's give it a go. We'll see what's going on. I like Mark's stuff, so it should be good.
Mark Smelly Bell here to talk to you today about eating 10% fat and being 10% body fat. You are what you eat. You guys have heard this before. This old adage, this thing has been around for a really long ass time, that we are what we eat. And it's very interesting because it turns out that it's pretty dang true. Even recently, I've heard that the body fat that you shed, I was 330 pounds at one point, and some of that 330 pounds was peanut butter cups. And so some of those fats were being released into my body. They were stored in my body, right? And then they were released into my body as I started to, lose more and more weight over time. Those toxins, or whatever you want to call them, they get burned up, but they also kind of get released in your body. And you end up with these detrimental fats, these PUFAs, or whatever types of disgusting fats they are, that come from something like a peanut butter cup. Who the hell even knows that point, because it's a Frankenstein food. But you are what you eat. That is what's on your body. Now, if you're somebody that has a more controlled diet.
Quick point here: people don't understand that dietary fat is the primary contributor to body fat by a long, long, long margin. Go watch a video I did on me chatting to Chat GPT and prompting it and seeing what it would say about where body fat comes from. And of course, the conclusion is that virtually all of our body fat is actually dietary fat. Now, what Mark says here about the peanut butter cups and end up storing some of those detrimental fats as body fat, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. If you were to eat your dietary fat is already in the correct chemical form to be stored as fat, because it's fat, so it can just go straight into the fat cell. So if you're in a caloric surplus, the easiest route, the body always takes the path of least resistance. So it'll just store the fat that you eat straight into your adipose, into the body fat cells, right? Now, if you were to eat things like donuts and cookies and all these things that even have trans fats, when they do, if they do a fat biopsy and suck the fat from people, the trans fats will be inside there. The trans fats will be stored in your body, so it's right there. The fat you eat is the fat you wear, or I think that a more accurate way to put it is the fat that you are wearing came from the fat that you eat, and it's in the exact form that it was consumed. That's how we can tell where it came from. Fat that comes from de novo lipogenesis, from converted carbohydrate, is not like the dietary fat. So we know, which is why when these fat biopsies are done, about 99% came from dietary fat, and you'll be lucky to have 1.5% of the fat on your body that came from converted carbohydrate. It's disproportionate, to say the least. The fat on your body comes from the fat you eat, and if you're eating terrible things like cookies and stuff, you've got some trans fats in your body. And conversely, if you've been eating an omega-3 rich diet, you will have stored omega-3 fats as well. Anyway, I'm rambling, folks. Doing a wee bit of rambling. Let's go on with the video.
You have some omega-3s, and you have some grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and you have some fish, and some so on and so forth. Well, those are the fats that are going to be released for energy if you start to lose some weight at some point. And so it's really interesting that you are what you eat. But even more literally, if you just eat something, you eat things that are lean, you're going to be lean. If you eat things that are fat, you're going to be fat. If you eat things that have a ratio and have a percentage associated to it that is very high in fat, it's going to be very difficult for you to be lean unless you're doing something weird with your diet, like you're on some sort of ketogenic diet or something like that. But other than that, you don't get to circumvent that at all. And actually, I find it to be very interesting that people that get themselves down to 5 and 7% body fat, they literally are oftentimes consuming 5% of their diet from dietary fat.
Right. So while fat can be lost in any calorie deficit, that's true. I would just say to the say low carb people that you okay, you can do that, but you're doing it on hard mode. Doesn't need to be that difficult. The easiest way to do it is actually just to cut the fat down. You'll get a lot more food. You'll feel fuller, and the food is more satisfying, and there's a lot more food variety. So Mark's saying here, you want to be 10% body fat, eat 10% dietary fat. It's not a bad rule of thumb. Let's consider this. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, gram of carbs and protein for each. So if a gram of each protein and carbs brings you to 8. So like a gram of fat has more calories than a gram of protein and carbs combined. So when you knock the fat way down, you can have a lot more carbs, more protein, and both of those are very, very, very filling. Both of those stimulate your metabolism more than fat does. Fat doesn't really have any effect really on increasing metabolic rate. Carbs do. Protein certainly does as well. So your metabolism's running hot on a high carb, high protein, or even moderate protein, low fat diet. So yeah, it's a good rule of thumb. 10%. You want to get the 10% body fat. You want to have a six pack, that sort of lean. Eat 10% or less, folks. I'm personally on about 5%. Like, the title of this video, eat 5% to be 5% body fat. I'm not 5% body fat. I'm lean, but 5% is like bodybuilder stage lean, which is not somewhere I don't want to be there. That's for sure. Though I don't need to be that lean. 10% you've got a nice six pack and muscles and stuff. So yeah, I'm on about 5%. And I just make sure that I cover all my essential fatty acid needs in there. So my omega-3s and 6s are well covered. And I've been eating this low for a couple of years. Couple of years, folks. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyway, let's see what else we've got.
That's literally what they're doing. That's kind of astonishing. And how come we haven't really heard anybody talk about that before? I've talked about it before. I've mentioned it many times now, especially with the single digit body fat series, which started about maybe around 2 years ago. I'm hauling up this hill, so if I start to sound fat, it's because I'm fat. Fatty McGee, you're the fattest. But I like the stairs. They're fun. So you get a little wheezing going on. I got a wee bit of a cold from being in Ireland and Scotland for about 2 weeks. Great vacation, by the way. Just amazing time with my family, children, my wife, my kids. My children don't even know what to call them at this point because they're adults. So every time I bring up my kids, people are like, "Oh, how old are they?" Thinking I'm going to say like 7 and 8 and stuff.
Okay, I think we'll wrap it up there. I forgot he was in Ireland actually, so I hope you had a good time when you were here, Mark. I'm sure you didn't stick to the 5% fat when you were here. Probably had a few Guinnesses as well, I imagine. A few Guinness. Yeah, let's wrap it up, folks. Upcoming free book coming very, very soon. Eat Lean, Get Lean. Should be coming to you in October sometime. It could be towards the end of October before I have it released. Just make sure everything's right. The website will be eatleangetlean.com. You'll be able to go there and get the video. So the easiest fat loss diet in the world is in fact a low fat diet. So easy. Crank your metabolism up, enjoy your food, lose all the fat you want, and there is no better diet. And let me make a quick prediction. Things come round in cycles. The low carb diet was big in the 70s. Low fat was big in the 90s. Low carb came back in the early 90s. Atkins diet came back. Then it went away. Then keto came, and vegan was popular, very popular for a while. Then people fell off. It's all trends, cycles. Um, Low fat, I think, is coming back. If I have anything to do with it, it's coming back for sure. Um, I want people to be happy and enjoy their food and get lean and stay lean, you know. And like the title of my book is "You Eat Lean to Get Lean." Like Mark's saying here, eat 10% fat to be 10% fat. Eat 5% fat. Um, it's intuitive because it is actually true. It is true. I could talk for days. I just keep sit here and talk for days, but I have stuff to do, folks. I have places to go and things to do. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll come back to you soon. Like and subscribe. I keep forgetting every time. We're on 11 minutes again, like the last time. If you're still here, type 11 minutes in the comments. Probably no one lost it the full 11 minutes. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, give me a like, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.